the year of 2033, computers stopped. 1950 came electronic age. Then 1980 came bionation age, 2000 cyclonation age, ultra cyclonation 2020, then computer goes every year, creating data. Then the year of 2033, computers stopped, which they thought this is end of civilization. May be by war, maybe by some other means, direct cause of end, but underlying cause is all this new artificial species.
This was one of the most controversial figures of the 1980s. People laughed at what he warned about decades ago. Now, much of it feels disturbingly real. And he said all of this back in 1984.
Only 50 years, 60 years later. Totally new type of species, which are controlled by high technology, high communication through the computer, this and that, each brains, high chemicals, high waves from probably satellites sending out.
People ignored Michio Kushi for decades. In 2026, his predictions feel frighteningly real.
Then end result is totally new type of species, which are controlled by high technologies, high communications through the computer, this and that, each brains, high chemicals, high waves from probably satellites sending out. In those kinds of new species, of course, it's totally unnecessary to have religion.
What do you see when you look at the world today? More and more people feel disconnected from real life. People spend huge parts of their day staring at screens, scrolling endlessly, consuming information their brains were never designed to process at this speed. Many barely spend time outside anymore. Many barely spend time with family. Real conversations are slowly disappearing and being replaced by short messages, notifications, videos, and artificial interaction. Something about society feels different now. A lot of people no longer feel connected to tradition, spirituality, community, or even to themselves. Many feel lost, mentally exhausted, or emotionally numb, or constantly overstimulated. Children now grow up online, almost from birth. Entire personalities are shaped through algorithms, trends, viral content, and endless psychological influence before people are even old enough to fully understand what's happening to them. You can also see how technology is starting to replace parts of the normal human life itself. People build relationships online. People work online. People escape online. Some people now spend more time talking to an artificial intelligence than talking to real human beings. And at the same time, modern culture keeps moving faster and faster. Attention spans are collapsing. Everything is designed around stimulation. Platforms compete to keep people emotionally hooked for as long as possible because attention itself has become one of the most valuable things on Earth. Then you go back and listen to what you just heard in that clip. A future where human behavior becomes heavily shaped by technology, chemicals, digital systems, and artificial influence. A world where people slowly lose connections with older human values and become easier to guide, influence, and psychologically control. And honestly, in 2026, that no longer sounds as impossible as it once did.
We forgot appreciation, gratitude to nature, to parents, to tradition. Because we have been thinking we are the good guy. Because we have been thinking enemies are there. So we cannot cure ourselves. We cannot heal ourselves. Because of human arrogance. Because of human ignorance. And if those individual awakening is not there, forthcoming, suppose planetary world, the community will become like world empire and more like dictatorship because of present day communication, present day transportation, present day satellites. No longer each country is not able to exist by its alone, all interrelated. So need world community. That's world communities. If individual people is not awakening, then empire comes, control. Empire either by religious way, or by capitalistic way, or by communistic way, or by political way. But if individual people are awakening, which now going on its process, then that world community or world central government, you may say, will become more educational and service functions for the benefit of all mankind.
That part about an awakening process is probably the most important thing he said in this entire interview. Because at the end of the day, this channel's not here to tell you what to believe. One of the main reasons we make these videos is to give people a different perspective on reality and to encourage them to think more deeply about the world around them. A lot of modern life moves so fast that many people never stop to question anything anymore. They just consume information, repeat opinions, and continue through the same routine every day. And honestly, I think that's dangerous. Once you start researching certain subjects for yourself, you quickly realize the world is often far more complicated than most people think. That doesn't mean you should blindly believe everything you hear online. And I'm definitely not telling you what to believe in this video. I'm simply presenting ideas, real interviews, real predictions, and real people speaking publicly about subjects that many others avoid completely. And that is why I want you to pay very close attention to what comes next. So watch the next part carefully, and after this video ends, I honestly encourage you to do your own research, think for yourself, and come to your own conclusions.
It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. Why that many years? Because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of students in the country of your enemy, exposed to the ideology of the enemy. The demoralization process in the United States is basically completed already. Actually, it's overfulfilled because demoralization now reaches such areas experts would even dream of such a tremendous success. Most of it is done by Americans to Americans, thanks to lack of moral standards. Exposure to true information does not matter anymore. A person who was demoralized is unable to assess true information. The facts tell nothing to him. Even if I shower him with information, with authentic proof, with documents, with pictures, he will refuse to believe it. The result you can see. Most of the people who graduated in the 60s, dropouts or half-baked intellectuals, are now occupying the positions of power in the government, civil service, business, mass media, educational system. You are stuck with them. You cannot get rid of them. They are contaminated. They are programmed to think and react to certain stimuli in a certain pattern. You cannot change their mind, even if you expose them to authentic information, even if you prove that white is white and black is black. You still cannot change the basic perception and the logic of behavior.